Hands, Lines, and Warm and Cool Colors, Part 1. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to your first second grade art lesson of the new school year. Before we get started here, I have a little bit of unfinished business to take care of. For those of you who have finished your name tags and turned them in, thank you. And for those of you who have yet to do that, I did put a due date on them. I'm going to need these name tags by this Friday, September 25th. So you need to turn them in by that time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview our project here. After I do that, I'm going to go over some learning objectives, materials you need, and then do the lesson itself. Now this lesson that we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when we're done and everything. Of course, we're going to start off with just a plain old white piece of paper like this. But by the end of the lesson, I want you to have something that looks like this here. Oh, actually, it's upside down. There we go. Like this over here. Now, a lot of what I'm going to be teaching you about is stuff that you already learned last year in first grade. I taught you a lot about different types of lines last year. And we're going to do some of the lines we did on last year's project that we did about lines, but we're also going to add some new ones in too. Now the learning objectives here are as follows. First learning objective is I can trace my hand. The second learning objective is I can draw a sun and moon. Next one is, I can successfully create a variety of lines within my traced hands. Next one is, I can identify the various types of lines. What we're going to do here is, I need to need to tell you about the materials too. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need a ruler for drawing the straight lines, and you are going to need something to trace for your sun and your moon. I would say a bottle cap like this would be fine, okay? Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing my examples up here. So my bottle cap is going to look a lot bigger here. I'm going to use this as a bottle cap, just because I want you to see the examples real good. And at every step that we do, I'm going to show you what your project should look like as you're doing it. Now I'm going to be doing my project here with a marker. I'm going to show you how to do this with a marker. You're going to do yours with pencil though. Marker so you can see up here real good. First thing I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to trace your hands coming from each side of the paper. Now my hands are real big here, so I actually had to cut mine down a little bit and actually draw mine. But you're going to trace yours. And you should have enough room to trace one coming from this side and then turn around and trace it coming from this side like this. You're going to do that with a pencil. And when you're done, you should get something that looks like this over here. That's step number 1. We're going to move right on to step number 2. Now in step number 2, here's where you're going to take your bottle cap or something. Bottle cap or another thing that would work would be a quarter, size of a quarter. You're going to go ahead and you're going to put the bottle cap in here. And you're going to trace it right in the middle of the hand like I'm doing here. Now I know you can't really see that, but that's okay because I'm going to show you what it's going to look like afterwards anyway. You're going to do that twice though on here. You're going to need to trace it twice. in the middle of each hand. I show you this up here too. Now one, I'm going to trace. Oh, good. It's like you can actually, I can actually see that. Okay. I'm going to show you how to make the sun and the moon here. First of all, you're going to do it like this. I'm going to show you how to make the moon. Now, on one of these two circles that you put on your hand, you're going to make the moon. Here's how it's done. I'm just going to go ahead and cut into one of my circles like this. And then I'm going to erase it. The rest of the circle that's not part of the moon that's showing. Just like that, and I got myself a moon. When you're done with that step, this is how your hand should look here. Something like this. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to go ahead and make the flames around the sun. To make the flames around the sun, and I'll do this a little bit darker so you can see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start making flames going like this. Curved line, the curves and points, just like this. I'm going to do one on the top. Going to sort of start out like a clock in a way, just so I kind of get them balanced. And then I'm going to start filling them in here. One after the other. Some can have 2 points like most of mine do over here. But you could also do one like this that just has 1 point also. However you want to do it as far as that goes. But you want to do that instead of doing these lines like this, because they're really not going to give you anything to color in if you do them like that. And when you're done, you should get something that looks like this. Now, the next step after that, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go ahead and you're going to need to break these up into sections here. You're going to need to break your hands up into different sections because we're going to be doing different types of lines, and I want each section to have its own, I want each line to have its own section. So what you're going to do is you're going to need to break this hand up and this hand up into 5 sections that are sort of equal. They're not going to be exact, but sort of equal. Let me show you how to do that right now. I think I'll do the moon side because you can probably see it a little bit better than the sun side right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off over here between my pinky and my ring finger here. And I'm going to make a curved line just like that. And I'm going to do that once again between the pinky and the middle finger here. Another curved line that goes all the way off the paper like that. And between the middle finger and the index finger, and do another one. looks like this. And between the index finger and the thumb, I'm going to curve another one like this. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too, on the sun side. And when I'm done with that, this is how it should look when it's done. When you're done with that next step, this is how it's going to look like. And now comes the part with the lines. No, I'll leave this up here. Now, it doesn't matter which section you put the different types of lines in. You could do it exactly like I'm doing it, or you can do it differently if you want to. But each section is going to have a different type of line in it. I want you to understand that. First line we're going to start off with, we're going to need a ruler for. Because the first type of line we are going to make is a straight line. When you are making straight lines, what you need to do is with the hand you don't draw with, you need to hold that ruler down and use your muscles to make sure that ruler doesn't move around. Because if it's moving around, it's going to go kind of crooked. But if you hold it down with the hand you're not drawing with, like I'm doing here, then you should be able to get straight lines. The next thing about straight lines you also need to know is this. When you're doing your straight lines, you need to make sure that your pencil is touching the ruler as you draw. If it's not touching the ruler when you're drawing, you're not going to get a straight line. Oh, and mine moved on me a little bit here. I'll try fixing that up. Unfortunately, marker doesn't erase. There we go. And you're going to trace, or you're not going to trace, but, well, it sort of is like tracing the ruler in a way, because you're putting it right up against it like it is a tracer. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to draw straight lines like I'm doing here in one of your sections. And these straight lines I'm drawing are going across, straight across. What these are called is they're called horizontal lines too. When you're going straight across something, it's horizontal. When you get through with that, your picture should look something like this. Because you're only doing horizontal straight lines in one section here. I don't care which section it is, but you're going to do some of them. I would say probably to make the horizontal ones like I did, probably be easiest to go by one of the thumbs there to do it. Just a thought. Now the next line we're going to go to is the curved line. Or I'm sorry, let me see. I gotta follow mine here. Oh yes, the curved line's the next one I'm going to do. Now the curved line's another one we did last year. And the curved line is exactly that. It goes on a curve. We started these and we made these kind of curvy here. So we already did some curved lines here. Ones I'm going to do are going to be a little bit more extreme as far as how curvy they are. I'm going to be going up like this and down and up. I'm going to make them real curvy in here. Oh, that's right. I should show you over here a curvy line too. Like that. I'm going to do some over here. Now, when I get to my sun, if I don't have room to do one, it's going to kind of get blocked out over here. But I could possibly fit one. Nah, I think I'm going to leave it like that. That's how you do the curvy lines. Or the curved lines, not curvy lines, but curved lines. And actually, this is the same as what I just got done with, but I'm going to put it up there anyway because I want to go in order. And I'm keeping all my stuff in order right over here. Well, you don't see it, but it's in there. Next one I'm going to do is another one you learned about last year, and it is the zigzag line. Now, zigzag lines are very pointy. Go up and down and up and down. So you can see they have points on them. So I'm going to pick another section. Doesn't matter which section I pick, but I'm going to go on this one. I'm going to go on the moon side here. I'm going to start here at the top and make some zigzag lines. Whole bunch of them. Make sure you make them nice and pointy. And I'm going to work my zigzag lines all the way down to the bottom of this section over here going off the paper. And when I'm done with that, my picture is going to look something like this. It's going to look like that. And your picture will look like that too. Maybe in different sections, but something like that. Let me see, what is next on my list here? Oh, next one is one we did last year too. These are called broken or segmented lines. Now, a broken or segmented line is one. Once again, you're going to need the ruler for this one. But these lines here, what you're going to do is you're going to start out drawing like you would draw a straight line, right up against the ruler. But then you're going to stop. You're going to skip a little space. You're going to start again. Stop, skip a little space, start again. And you're going to keep on doing that throughout the section until you get to the end of the section. I'll do another one for you too here. Start, stop, skip. Start, stop, skip. Start, stop, skip. Start, stop, just like that. That's how you do the broken or segmented lines. These broken or segmented lines I did on mine, I did on the diagonal. Remember that, well, at least on my paper here, I did them diagonally. Here I did them horizontally, but on my paper, I actually did them going in this direction like this. On a slant. That's a diagonal line here, is one that's on a slant. And here's how it looks on my hand. Right over here, the diagonal lines. Now, the next one we're going to do is another line that I showed you last year also. This one is called a dotted line. Now, the dotted line, I'm going to use the ruler for too. And the dotted line, like the segmented line, has space in between it. If I take my ruler and put it up here like this right under the segmented line, I'm going to just go ahead I'm going to touch it with my marker here. You'll touch yours with your pencil. But you're going to draw dots, or put dots on yours right next to the ruler. Skip a little space and do it like I'm doing here. Just like that. And when you get done with that section, this is how it'll look on here. I don't believe I showed you this one last year. And if I did, then I was mistaken, but I don't think I showed you this next one that we're doing this year, or last year. Next one we're gonna do is what's called a wavy line. It's gonna kind of look like water. To do a wavy line, what you're gonna do is you're gonna make it's going to start off sort of like a curved line, but it's going to come up like this and point down. Kind of almost looks like a little bit of a shark fin or something like that. And you're going to keep on doing that. Going right across here. This is a good one to do horizontally. We'll do another one. If you have the section by your thumb, this might be a good place to put it. I know in my example, that's what I did. Oh, I got this one hanging upside down, but I'll show you what it's going to look like if I had it the right side up here. See, I put my wavy lines right over here by the thumb. If you have that area still opened up, that would be a good one to put it on. If not, you could put it on one of these other ones too, and it'll work. But works probably the best right here. Alrighty. Oh, next one we're going to do is another new one. This one is called the squiggle line. To do a squiggle line, what you're going to do is you're going to start out sort of curving it like this. It starts off kind of a curved line, and it goes up and around like that. Up and around, up and around, up and around, just like that. And do another one here too. Up and around, up and around, up and around, up and around, up, around, up, around, up, around. That's how you do a squiggle line. And here's where I put mine, right over here. Alrighty, the next line we're going to do is sort of like a curved line, but it doesn't, unlike a curved line, it has different kind of lower and higher things on it. The next one we're going to do here is pretty much the hills are pretty much the same on these. This is called a bumpy line. Bumpy line, like I said, is a lot like the curved line because it does curve, but it stays about the same all the way through. The bumps don't get any bigger or any smaller. They pretty much stay the same here. Unlike the curved line where you can go and have different heights and dip it down lower or higher if you go up. That's the difference between a curved line and a bumpy line. The bumpy line pretty much stays the same all the way through. Kind of looks like if you're, for those of you who have done math before and done number lines on the map, this is sort of how those lines look there. And when I get to that step, right there, I put my bumpy lines in. We're running out of sections here real quick. We have 2 sections to go. Next one I'm going to do is going to be what's called a spiral. Now, a spiral you could either do from starting on the outside and working your way in, or from the inside and working your way out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this for a minute so I can flip my paper over and show you. So I'm going to go ahead and put pause here if I could find pause right now. Maybe not. Nope. I don't know why I can't find pause in here right now. Oh, I'll hit stop video. Okay, I'm back. I decided to use a smaller paper, but this is one of the last ones I'm doing anyway, so that'll work out. Okay, to do a spiral, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start off with a dot here, and I'm going to start curving it out like this. Wrapping it around, going around like this some more. Round and round and round it goes. And stop it like that. I could also do it by drawing a circle here first of all. And then wrapping it around like this and going on the inside. Either way works, but that's how you do a spiral. If you want to start from the inside and work your way out, that's fine. Matter of fact, I think this is a little bit easier doing it this way, but that's just me. Some of you might want to work from the outside going in. I seem to think on mine, though, I had more luck doing it from the inside going out. But that's how you do it. That's a spiral. And when you're finished with it, get something that looks like this. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Got one more line to do here. And it's going to be a straight line again. We're going to do something with it later on in the project too, this last one that I'm going to do. But the straight lines I want you to make on this here, because we haven't done vertical yet, vertical being up and down, straight up and down. That's what I want you to do on this final section. Wherever your final section is. Oops, I put up the wrong thing or didn't, yeah. There we go. I got one section left here. This is my section over here. What I want you to do is I want you to make some straight lines that go up and down, straight up and down in this last section you have. Just like I'm doing over here. Remember, right up against the ruler. Hold the ruler down with the hand you don't draw with, and make sure that pencil goes right up against the ruler. And when you're done, yours will look something like this. Maybe different sections will have different things, but they should look something like this, except for, of course, in pencil. Leave them in pencil. And this is where I need you to get to. Now, because this is more than a one-day project here, you're not going to have to turn this into me at the end of the week. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to have this done by next Monday so that we're ready to move on to the next step. That's all for now. Have a terrific week, and I'll see you, or you'll see me again very, very soon, actually.